Hello everyone, good evening. In this session, we will discuss the continuation of Ayurveda Nirupana chapter in Padartha Vijnana, the basic principles of Ayurveda. In the previous session, we have discussed what is Ayurveda, what is Ayu, definitions of Ayu, synonyms of Ayu and Lakshana of Ayu, and what is the definition of health given by our Acharyas, and what is the importance of Ayurveda, how it will be useful if we attain a healthy state. All this we have discussed in the previous session. In this session, we will discuss what are Siddhanta. This is also seen in the Ayurveda Nirupana chapter. Here in Siddhanta, Sarvatantra Siddhanta, Pratitantra Siddhanta, Adhikarana Siddhanta and Abhyupagama Siddhanta. These were the four types of Siddhantas dealt in the Ayurveda Nirupana chapter. Here, these were the four types of Siddhanta. Next, what is Siddhanta? It means a Siddhanta is a demonstrated truth or knowledge which is attained by several examinations by Apta Vachana and due to verification of various texts and samhitas, what we get the knowledge. This is considered as the Siddhanta. After several examinations and reasonings, the truth we attained is considered as Siddhanta. This is of four kinds: Sarvatantra Siddhanta, Pratitantra Siddhanta, Adhikarana Siddhanta and Abhyupagama Siddhanta. First come to Sarvatantra Siddhanta. First of all, these are the basic and one-line shlokas. If we remember, it will be good. Sarvasmin tantre tantrat prasiddham. Sarvasmin tantre tantrat prasiddham means Sarvasmin. In all the text or in all the samhitas, tantre tantrat prasiddham. What we know is same in all the texts and samhitas. Okay. Example, if we know one thing, it is same in various texts and samhitas. It will come under Sarvatantra. Sarvasmin means in all the books, in all the samhitas, in all the words said by Aptas, the thing will be same. Sarvasmin tantre tantrat prasiddham. Truth or knowledge which is proved and accepted previously only. This is seen in Shastra or Tantra is same in all. Next, example. By this example, we can understand easily what is Sarvatantra Siddhanta. Existence of causes of disease. Existence of drugs or medicine for a disease. Okay. What are the causes of disease? They will be same in all the samhitas or by all aptas will same the same nidana for the particular disease. And the drugs administered or the medicines administered for a specific disease will be same in all cases to some extent. This will come under Sarvatantra Siddhanta. Sarvasmin tantre tantrat prasiddham. The knowledge which is already proved and accepted, it was same in all the tantras and samhitas. It is Sarvatantra Siddhanta. The second one is Pratitantra Siddhanta. Pratitantram ekasmin tantre tantrat prasiddham. This will be same. Pratitantram ekasmin tantre tantrat prasiddham. Okay. Here in Sarvatantra, Sarvasmin, in all the texts and samhitas or by all the aptas, the knowledge or the words said will be the same. But here in Pratitantra Siddhanta, what we know, what we attained, the knowledge is different in different books. What we attained is seen in one book and the same thing will be different in other book. Here it is explained. What truth we know is limited to only one. Here ekasmin means only one. Pratitantram ekasmin. The knowledge which we attain is limited to only one book or Shastra or Tantra. By this example, we can understand easily the Pratitantra Siddhanta. According to us, rasas will be 6 in one text. According to Charaka Samhita, rasas will be 6. But in other textbooks or by other aptas said that rasas are 8 in number. This were same in different texts and by different authors. It will come under Pratitantra Siddhanta. The knowledge which we attained is limited to only one book or by only one apta. Pratitantram ekasmin tantre tantrat prasiddham. Here this will change. Pratitantram ekasmin tantre tantrat prasiddham. Sarvasmin means Sarvatantra. Ekasmin means Pratitantra. Next. come to the third type of Siddhanta, Adhikarana Siddhanta. Truth implied from a given context. Here, in Adhikarana Siddhanta, the truth will be attained from a given context. We will attain the truth by the given context. Here we will see example. Without Chetana or Atma, without Atma, there is no life, it will be said. And liberated Atma, devoid of Sharira, will never perform an action. This was understood by us based on the concept given. Truth implied from a given context. Without Atma, no life. It must be understood. Liberated Atma from a body. Liberated Atma never can perform any action. This is the truth implied from a given context, said in Adhikarana Siddhanta. Here we have to attain the truth based on the concept. Next, Abhyupagama Siddhanta. Here it is a hypothesis. Here assumption must be done by us based on the knowledge or by Aptavachana. Akka assumption neither proved by Pramana or Apta. It is not at all said by Apta and it is not proved by Pramana. But due to debate and due to discussion, we will come to a result, assume a result. It is a hypothesis. It's just a hypothesis. Abhyupagama Siddhanta. This is not proved by any Pramana or never said by any Apta. This is a hypothesis by us. Next, this is explained here in an example. Dravya explained in a context. According to Dravya, Guna, Karma, Samanya, Vishesha, Samavaya, in all these contexts, if we were reading or if we were studying about Dravya in this context, we will see that Dravya is the best among them. While reading the Guna, we will read and we will come to a hypothesis that Guna is the best among all. This is the hypothesis. Okay, Abhyupagama is a hypothesis. This is an assumption which is neither proved by Pramana or not said by any Apta. This is explained by a debate. This is the knowledge which we attain through a debate and discussion. It is not at all proved by any Apta or Pramana. Example is here. Among the Padarthas, while we reading Dravya context, Dravya will be best. We will come into a hypothesis that Dravya will be the best. Next, while reading the Guna, we will come to a hypothesis or we will get a assumption like the Guna is the best among the Padarthas. This is a Abhyupagama Siddhanta. Okay, what is Siddhanta? The truth or assumption or a knowledge which is attained by several verifications and reasoning is considered as Siddhanta. These are 4 in number: Sarvatantra, Pratitantra, Adhikarana and Abhyupagama. In Sarvatantra Siddhanta, the knowledge will be the known thing will be same in every context, in every text and by every Acharya. The thing said is the same. Existence of causes of disease and medicines to that specific disease will be same in all the tantras. It will come under Sarvatantra Siddhanta. In Pratitantra Siddhanta, whatever the truth we know is limited to only one context or one Shastra. Pratitantram ekasmin. According to some Acharyas, rasas will be 6 and according to some it will be 8. The knowledge which we attained is limited to only one text or one Shastra or one Apta. Pratitantram ekasmin. It is the Pratitantra Siddhanta. Adhikarana Siddhanta is truth implied from a given context. From a given context, we will come to a truth. We will imply it might be the truth. Without Atma, there is no life. In a given context of Atma and Chetana and Sharira, we have to imply that without Atma, no life will be existed. And the liberated Atma from a Sharira will never and ever can perform any action. This must be implied by us. Okay, it is Adhikarana Siddhanta. Abhyupagama Siddhanta. This is a hypothesis. This is an assumption, neither proved by any Pramana or nor said by any Apta. This is explained by a debate. Okay, debate or discussion if we done and we will coming to a hypothesis, we can expect this might be the truth. It is the Abhyupagama Siddhanta. In the context of Padarthas, while we reading Dravya, we come into a hypothesis that Dravya is the best. While coming to Guna, if we read Guna chapter and context, we'll come into a hypothesis that Guna is the best. This is the Abhyupagama Siddhanta. This is the total knowledge regarding Siddhanta. It may be asked for 5 marks. If we remember the concept in all, in one, this is the truth implied by us in a given context. This is a hypothesis based one. It will be easy for us to describe elaborately in an examination. Now, goal of Ayurveda. What is the goal of Ayurveda? Swastasya swastha rakshanartham aturasya vikara prashamanascha. This was said in Charaka Sutrasthana 30th chapter. Swastasya swastha rakshanartham aturasya vikara prashamanam cha. The goal of Ayurveda is swastasya swastha rakshanartham, means to maintain health in a healthy person. Aturasya vikara prashamanam cha, means in a diseased person, the reduction and the elimination of the disease is the goal of Ayurveda. Next, in the Ayurveda Nirupana, the last thing which we come to know is the 8 branches. Ashtanga Ayurveda. Kaya Bala Graha Urdhvanga Shalya Damshta Jaravrishan. These were the 8 branches of Ayurveda dealt in Ayurveda Nirupana. What are they? Kaya means general medicine. Bala means pediatrics. Graha means Graha Roga, Bala Roga. Urdhvanga means Urdhva Jatrugata Rogas, Shalakya. Shalya means surgery. Damshta means Vishachikitsa. Damshta means biting. Jara means age related. Rasayana. Vrishan means virility. Aphrodisiac. These were the 8 branches of Ayurveda. Kaya Bala Grahodvanga Shalya Damshta Jara Vrishan. The complete concept of Siddhanta and what is the goal of Ayurveda, what are the branches of Ayurveda discussed in this session clearly. This ends the Ayurveda Nirupana chapter. In the next sessions, we will discuss the other chapter. If you need any topic, comment them in the comment section. We will discuss that in the coming sessions. Thank you. Like, share and subscribe to our channel.